Did you know the ancient Greeks kept dogs not just to guard their homes, but to cry at funerals? It sounds bizarre, right? But to understand this, we need to dive into the ancient Greek mindset about life, death, and the world beyond. For them, the journey to the afterlife was a serious and perilous one, and a proper send-off was crucial. It wasn't just about saying goodbye. It was about ensuring the soul of the deceased reached its final resting place safely. So, where do dogs fit into all of this? Well, Greeks held a deep belief that dogs were special creatures, straddling the line between the physical world and the spiritual realm. They were thought to possess a sixth sense and ability to perceive things humans couldn't, like spiritual energy or even the lingering presence of the dead. This idea isn't entirely out of the blue. We all know how dogs can sometimes stare intently at something we can't see, or how they howl at seemingly nothing. Today, we might explain this with their sharp hearing or sense of smell, but the ancient Greeks saw it as proof of their connection to the supernatural. Their unique ability to howl was particularly significant when a dog is anxious, separated from its pack, or senses a shift in its environment. It often howls. To the Greeks, this sound wasn't just a noise, it was a sacred expression of sorrow, a genuine cry that resonated with the solemnity of a funeral. They called these dogs funeral dogs or mourning dogs, and their wails were believed to serve multiple purposes. First, the sound was thought to be a powerful signal to the gods of the underworld, like Hades and Persephone, alerting them that a new soul was on its way. It was a plea for safe passage. Second, the dog's presence was believed to help guide the disoriented soul, showing it the path it needed to take. Think of them as furry, for leg guides for the spirit. Now, you might be picturing some kind of rigorous training school for these funeral dogs, but that wasn't the case at all. They weren't trained in the modern sense to cry on command. Instead, Greeks believed that the dog's natural instinctual howls were what made the act so powerful and pure. A forced cry wouldn't be genuine. They relied on the dog's innate sensitivity to the emotional atmosphere of a funeral, the collective grief, the somber rituals, and perhaps even the presence of the deceased as spirit were thought to naturally trigger the dog. As mournful howls, this was seen as a genuine spiritual cry, far more meaningful than any human performance. This practice was especially common among wealthy and influential families. They would carefully select dogs believed to be particularly sensitive to supernatural forces. Certain breeds or dogs with specific temperaments might have been preferred. For these families, having a chorus of howling dogs at a funeral was a status symbol, demonstrating not only their wealth, but also their piety and dedication to ensuring a proper journey for their loved ones. It was a grand, dramatic, and deeply spiritual spectacle. This connection between dogs and the underworld is woven deep into Greek mythology. The most famous example, of course, is Cerberus, the monstrous three-headed dog who guarded the gates of Hades. Cerberus wasn't just a mindless beast. His job was to prevent the dead from leaving and the living from entering. This role solidified the idea of dogs as guardians of the boundary between life and death. With figures like Cerberus in their cultural consciousness, it's no wonder the Greeks saw dogs as natural and fitting participants in funeral rites. They were the ultimate soul guides. It's interesting to compare this with other cultures. Many ancient societies, from the Romans to the Egyptians, hired professional human mourners. These were women paid to weep, wail, and tear their hair out to display the family's grief and social standing. The Greeks did this too, but their unique reliance on dogs as part of the ritual sets them apart. It shows a different kind of relationship with the animal world, one where dogs weren't just pets or workers, but spiritual conduits. They offered something human mourners couldn't, perceived direct line to the divine and the supernatural. So what happened to this strange and fascinating custom? Like many ancient practices, it slowly faded away with the rise of new religions and evolving philosophies. As beliefs about the afterlife changed, so did the rituals surrounding death. The spread of Christianity, with its different views on soul, salvation, and the role of animals, eventually made the practice of using funeral dogs obsolete. Today, it survives only in historical texts and the echoes of ancient myths. We might find it odd, but for the ancient Greeks, it was a logical and deeply meaningful way to honor the dead. This custom is a powerful reminder of how differently our ancestors saw the world. They lived in a reality filled with gods, spirits, and unseen forces, where the howl of a dog could be a bridge to the afterlife It challenges us to look beyond our modern, scientific understanding and appreciate the rich tapestry of human belief. What can unusual customs like this teach us about how ancient people understood life, death, and their place in the cosmos? Would you find this ritual meaningful or strange if it existed today? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear what you think. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this journey into the past, don't forget to like and subscribe for more.